What is going on, everybody? It is your observant lineman, Uche Nwaneri. Appreciate you guys for being in here. We are on Lineman Life Live, and it is Monday. Happy Monday. Hope everybody's gotten through that grind. I have a special guest with me here today, a guy who little people know. We're both from the same area, both from the Dallas area in Texas. We both live in the Atlanta area in Georgia, but he is the longtime Atlanta Falcon, Justin Blalock. What is going on, my brother?
Man, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate this.
No, man, it's all good. I appreciate you for being on with me. So why don't you tell the people what you've been doing, what you've been up to, man? Looks like you got a little band that you're about to start up. He's building a little studio.
Yeah. Man. So, damn, this is my 7th year out.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said a couple weeks ago. I was like, man, it's been 7 years, huh?
I feel old as shit now.
Old as shit.
I just moved back to the area. I was back in Texas for a few years. I bought this house, been doing a lot of remodeling and renovation, what have you. So you see, some of that going on behind me. So hopefully, as I'm on the show more and more, you'll start seeing a finished product.
Seeing it come together.
But that's been most of my time. These days, can't really get out and do a whole lot.
Yeah.
Like the olden days. But
I know it.
Get out when and where I can. Just try not to go stir crazy.
I know. That's one of the things. Especially, it's one thing when you're retired and you kind of like don't got much to do. But then when it's like you got a pandemic and you're retired and like there's nothing nobody's doing, so you just kind of like, okay, well, I'm just sitting, not really doing anything anymore.
Guess I'm here.
So tell me a little bit about your time in Atlanta, man. Because it's crazy. It's crazy. I tell people this all the time. I was actually like, that's where I thought I was going to be. That's where I thought I was going to get drafted because they were calling me like the entire draft week, like had me do FBI background checks, had me do all these different things. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And it was them or Kansas City. And I thought that those were going to be one of the teams I was going to go to because, I interviewed with them at the combine, all those different things. They were the ones where I was getting communication from the most. And I was like, okay, cool. Atlanta, I can dig it. And then come the draft, I was a 5th round pick. So come the draft, I think they were about to pick me up. And then the Jaguars traded up. So the Jaguars gave them 3 picks to trade up. And then they picked me with that pick. So I was like, okay, well, I don't know much about Jacksonville, but I've seen a lot of cats with dreadlocks on that team. So they got to be good. They got to be good. I know they looked good on that Sunday night game I saw against the Colts. Shoot. But, You ended up going as a second round pick to Atlanta, and obviously recent years, Atlanta, the whole situation. And I'm a Falcons fan as well because I've lived here now since 2014. So I'm a Falcons fan as well. And, I know that you guys had a lot of our coaches from Jacksonville when you were there. I know that you guys had Mike Smith, you had Mike Tice, Dirk Cutter, all those guys, right?
Yep.
But tell me a little bit about how it was as, for the team being there. Because, I know obviously you weren't there with the whole Super Bowl situation, but, you were part of – there were still remnants of that team that you were on that went to – they were in that.
Right.
So how was it for you?
I ain't going to lie. I was heartbroken for the guys that I knew on the team still, but at the same time, I was kind of glad they didn't get it because I was like, damn, how would that look if the year after I'm out, they go win the whole damn thing? It's like, I wasn't the one holding it back.
Yeah, it wasn't me. I told ya. See, 28-3.
No, I was excited for those guys that, made it that far. Obviously it's a blessing just to get that far. Hell, we sniffed it one year, I think 2012, the year the lights went out down in New Orleans.
Oh, in New Orleans, yeah.
Yeah, we had made it to the NFC Championship. Actually, we were up on the Niners big, and they had a big-ass comeback.
I remember that game.
Yeah. When Kaepernick single-handedly put the team on his back, for some reason after that, I guess he couldn't play no more. Just forgot how to play.
He became a bum, I guess. You know?
I mean, these things happen overnight, apparently. I don't know. These things, this is above me.
Yeah. And we're O linemen. So, for us, people ask me, like, what's the difference between playing O-line and like college and O-line in the NFL? And I'm like, in the NFL, that defensive line, they're like freakish athletes. It's like they're not even like supposed to be D linemen. These guys are like linebackers nowadays. But we come from kind of an old school style O-line era where it's guys who are like really, we gritty types, physical types. We're guards, so we stick our nose in there. We try to, it's a phone booth battle. Yep. And, I tell people a lot of times because I also talk about how, as a retired player now, looking and watching, it's like, guys, are these cats soft? Like, is this some soft ass O-line play I'm seeing going on? Like, it looks to me like it. Just my opinion, and you can tell me how you feel. Offensive line isn't played the same now as it was even 7 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, we played it different, I feel like, because I had guys on mine when I was a young player, my first, second year. I had guys who were true, like, these cats were just true grit O-linemen. Like, they got dip in their mouth all meetings. You know what I mean? Like, these cats be talking cash shit to the coaches.
Yep.
Like, and they've been playing, these were guys who started playing in like 2000, you know what I mean? So it was like they were still kind of in that different era, that real true old school era. And they kind of, instilled some of them principles in me when I came into the league in 2007. So it was, I feel like that was like that last group of like kind of rough and tough O-linemen. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist no more, but it is far less prevalent. I feel like watching how these guys they get beat by these D linemen with no moves. I mean, they're just running past them, just not even really like fighting their way through.
You know what I mean? So different game now, man. And with the I don't even want to say the advent because spread offense been around forever in college, but now everyone in the professional ranks is leaning more that way. Hell, you see quarterbacks throwing it 40, 50, 60 times in a game.
Yeah.
Where I grew up.
The running game is non-existent, it feels like, for a lot of teams now. I mean, and for me, it's always like crazy to like see teams throw the ball as much as they do. I mean, like, I watch the Jaguars play and they throw the ball like 50 times, and I'm like, whoa. I'm like, bro, I feel like the Jaguars should always be a running team. Just because when I was there, we had a guy by the name of Maurice Jones-Drew. I mean, we had Fred Taylor. These cats, we ran the ball. Our run game was like our pass game. We could pick up a first down on third and 8 running the ball.
Exactly.
And football has always been football. You run the ball first to create space for the pass. Like the pass game literally is created by a good running game, which is why you see a team like Tennessee be able to do the things they do. They literally lean on their running game to create their passing game. When they went to Baltimore and beat Baltimore and shot Baltimore in the playoffs, they did it because they ran all over their ass. And then the moment that those safeties stepped up in the box, they launched the bomb right over the top of their head. Touchdown, first play of the half.
The run game travels. So in the playoffs, when it's cold, that shit works.
The run game is the ultimate equalizer for any offense that has to go on the road.
Yep.
Your run game can slow down the tempo of the game. It can slow down the intensity of the crowd, and it'll confuse a pass rush because right when they think it's oh man, they just keep pounding the rock, They get that same smack in the face, and then you just kind of sit down instead of pushing, and then they look up, and there goes quarterback just tossing the ball over the top. So I think that's been something that's been lost in the art of actually like smart football, is that the running game is crucial to being able to pass.
100%. It's got to come back, though. It's got to come back because
absolutely.
these defenders, they're getting too damn good.
The defenders are too athletic for you to just drop back every down and let them come after your quarterback like that.
Yeah, like these guys would have been basketball players a few years ago.
So, yeah. I told you I already told you they know who you are. They know. They say Justin B, former Longhorn Justin. Yes, indeed, it's him.
I'm gonna get you that $20 after the show. My cash out. But these guys, they're long and lean and they're fast. At some point, you just got to run and hit them in the fucking mouth. You got to hit them. Just like Marshawn would have said, you got to run it in the damn mouth, and make them not want to rush the passer anymore. Make them sit there taking on double teams and all that stuff that no one wants to do. Eventually, it's got to get back to that because these guys are too damn fast. They're out here running 4.4s and 4.5s and shit. What am I supposed to do against that? What am I supposed to do against that?
Like, what am I? Well, how am I supposed to pass set that every down? Like, how? So also, man, like, and there's another situation that came up that I really think plays well into this conversation that we're having is, you look at Jadeveon Clowney and what he said. If you probably heard about what he said, but this is a guy who says that he looks forward to like being able to rush at defensive tackle, and he says that guards are not athletes. And of course, there's plenty of film out there of him getting bodied by Quentin Nelson. Plenty of film out there of him not being athletic at defensive end, regardless, even not even considering talking about at defensive tackle. And one thing that immediately came to mind for me when I saw that statement that he made was in real life, in the game, I'm fucking relieved when a defensive end lines up over me. I'm like, yes, because it's a different game just 10 feet over, 8 feet over at defensive end than it is at defensive tackle. And when I get, we would play against the Colts. And I mean, every time we played against the Colts, this was back in the Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis days, I mean, I was like, thank God I'm not a tackle. But I knew one thing, when there was always one or two times during the game that Dwight Freeney would come in at defensive tackle in an obvious passing situation.
Sure. Yeah.
And I would be like, thank you. Because if nothing else, I'm going to be able to snatch this little cat because he looks big on the outside, but he ain't big in here.
Right.
He comes into this in between these tackles in the guard box. Oh no. I look right in my center and be like, Brad, get ready. Sending them to you. And I overset him a little bit. He'd go inside and Brad just boom, blow his ass up. And we just be standing over him like, yeah, motherfucker, this ain't defensive end.
Yeah, they're going to take that cheese every time. Give them that
they take the cheese because they be like, oh, Elaine. And he loved to spin. So he just hit that spin button every time. But, the game is different in different spaces of the field. And Jadeveon Clowney, coming out and saying something like that, I feel like it's laughable because, again, there is footage of a guard literally pancaking the life out of him in that position. But it's funny that he would say that, especially considering the fact that he has I think one or two sacks over the last two or three seasons combined.
Something like that.
But I feel like it's always, I don't know. How did you feel about having a DN slide inside? I always felt like when they got to the inside interior part of the line, that it was just really one, you're probably going to get a game, but two, okay, well, I ain't got to worry about a stupid bull rush or,
Even if
I just got to make sure I get my hands on him, keep him at a distance, get my hands on him. He's not even going to try to come up and he's not going to try to get inside all of this. He really ain't.
Yeah, even if I slip up and he, surprises me with the bull rush, I can probably just
sit down on it. You can recover on that in one hop.
Deal. But that's a huge if from those guys. Most of the time, I will say this: the guys that played the 3-4-5 technique, the 5 tech in a 3-4 defense, I should say, when they reduced for obvious passing situations, some of them were more suited to rushing inside. A guy
those bigger defensive ends
like that. Yeah, somebody like that. They could give you some problems because they were, still shifty but also strong as hell. But I think when I see a little guy come down inside, I think that should be like a check run automatically. Like,
oh yeah.
We need to be running power over here or something.
Because they're not going to hold up.
I mean, you're just
you're just basically bodying them left and right.
Nothing you can do about that. But yeah,
we got a super chat here from Mexican Iron Man. Mexican Iron Man for $19.99. Appreciate that. He says, "Hail, brother Uche. Can't tell you how many times I watched Mr. Blalock on Sunday. Ticket back on Sundays gone by. 2 great linemen, 1 great conversation. Awesome. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much, Mexican Iron Man. He's a constant listener, constant person who watches the show. So I appreciate that. We got plenty of people out here who are really glad to have you on here. I'm looking through the chat. Oh yeah. So what do you think about tonight's matchup? We got Green Bay Detroit at Green Bay tonight, Monday Night Football. There's somebody who's actually literally, and I'll find the link here while you give me your thoughts. But there's somebody here, somebody who has made a bet, who is literally 1 win away from winning $700,000.
Right. I think the guy put up like 25 in this big ass parlay.
$25, yes.
Oof. Boy, it couldn't have been me. I'd be so.
Hey, you know, he's straight sweating bullets right now.
Like, what would y'all pay me to just walk away?
What can I do to just cut my losses and take what I can? I'll take half.
Right. Well, y'all give me 300 to just, give up my rights to this bit.
I'll let y'all have it. I don't even care. Just give me half. This is because he's going up against a. And look, I guess we can't say that it's not possible. We can't say it's not possible.
Right.
Because
awful last week.
Green Bay just got their ass dusted last week.
Right.
By the Saints, who got their ass dusted this week. So it's like, these cats lost 45-7 to Carolina this week. So what is it saying? What does it mean that Green Bay lost last week? Does that mean that they're kind of trash, or was it an anomaly? Because we know if there's one thing that Green Bay is going to do is they're going to bounce back against.
Yeah, I'm not betting.
And usually, if it's the Lions,
yeah, not happening.
That parlay is going to be out the window. Boy,
I wouldn't take that for $7.50 right now.
But let's look at it like this as well.
But to put it 25,
Detroit almost came back and beat San Fran.
True. Hey, you gotta play the game.
Gotta play the game. Gotta play the game because anything can happen on any given Sunday.
Right.
And Monday in this regard.
If he hears this, I'll give you $100 to take over your bet.
I give him 5 times his bet. Yep. I'll give you $125. You can call it off right now. or you gonna be owing the house hella bread if you do this.
At least you walk away with something.
For real.
Get you some gas money.
For real. Fill your tank up. Hell, it'd be like a normal week for you anyways.
Right.
Oh my goodness. So I think, just looking at this and for people in the chat who've been coming into my live streams, you know that we're going to do our true predictions on Wednesday with Urinating Tree and 5 Points Vids. But, I think that with this game in particular, I think it will come down to how much offense how much the Detroit offense can keep the Green Bay offense off the field. They're going to have to control the clock, control the time of possession, and they're going to have to they're going to have to score in the red zone. If you really want to beat these cats, if you really want a path to beating Green Bay in Lambeau, which that's already the biggest problem you're going up against is it's in Lambeau. You got to score touchdowns. You can't. Field goals aren't going to get it done. And you can't expect to come back in the second half like you did against the 49ers. That's not going to happen in Lambeau. You were at home when you did that against the 49ers. You're not going to do that at Lambeau. I played at Lambeau a couple of times. It's really like it ain't shit over there. There's nothing there.
People got nothing to live for up there.
There is nothing there. I remember the bus ride to get to the stadium, and I'm like, hold on.
I think we're in the wrong place.
Did y'all make a run? Where are we? This is just a housing neighborhood. Like this is a neighborhood. And then out of nowhere, Lambo. Yeah. I'm like, so people walk to the game. They just walk over here. Because y'all literally are like just sitting at the edge of a neighborhood.
Right. This is somebody's backyard.
But once you get in it, it's kind of, you can feel that history. Man, I felt the history of that place as soon as I got on the field. Like, I was like, whoa. And, my first time, this was, my rookie year, third preseason game. They had me starting in the third preseason game. So I'm like, okay, so, I'm trying to think, just remember what the plays were as a rookie. I'm like, dang, okay, well, hey, Brad, what we do on this play? What we do on that play? I don't remember half of these. And, then Green Bay's offense is coming out and they're introducing the offense, and they introduce the whole offense as a group, right? They come jogging out. Then there's like a 15-second pause and the lights go out. And then it's like, and now introducing from Mississippi, whatever, fucking Valley High School State University, 16-year NFL vet, first ballot Hall of Famer for sure, Brad Ford. And this motherfucker just come jogging out with his hand out with one finger up. Just
no, he ain't about to do shit today.
And went straight to the sideline.
Yeah.
Took his helmet off, put a hat on.
Like, all right, y'all.
Didn't even play. I'm like, shit.
I showed up.
All right. Well, and I guess we can move on from the game from the Detroit Green Bay game, because at the end of the day, we know that that's probably a game that they're not going to win. But I did want to take a quick look at this guy's parlay, because he called a ton of this stuff. He called everything right. And it's crazy because how many times does that actually happen for a, let me see, where is it? Right here. For an NFL bet to pick everything literally off a $25 ticket.
Wow.
He got Washington. He got the Bears. I would have, I picked the Raiders to win, and he got the Raiders, which a lot of people didn't think that they would win that game. I feel like the Raiders kind of got something going with that win against Baltimore. Sometimes when you get those surprise wins to start the season, it's not even that you're really that good. It's just that you get a bunch of momentum, so things just work your way. Right. The Raiders pulled that out, but the Panthers, he called a pretty good. He called it perfectly. So, the only thing I probably would have differentiated on, really, just looking at it, would have been that Ravens game.
I can't honestly say
I wouldn't have picked the Ravens. Not in a matchup against Kansas City this early in the season, especially after last week. So, but they made a big game. They had a big play out of that, or made a big game out of that. That probably saved their season. Not gonna lie. But if he wins tonight, it's like the craziest plus 400 ever.
Right.
Plus 400 for the Lions. Oh man, I'm gonna be rooting for Detroit just simply for that guy to win his parlay.
Just for this.
Just for him to win it. Because what's gonna happen once he gets done winning it. He's gonna bet it all next week and lose it. He'll be right back where he started in no time. But moving on from that game, I did want to take a look at this here, because this is something that's concerning to me. And honestly, I can't understand why this was even something that these guys felt was necessary to do. And that is this from my Jacksonville Jaguars. Urban Meyer releases a statement, and my God, I have kind of put my ear to the streets with my other former players, because everybody that I'm still in contact with my old teammates, we've kind of been talking about this today, and the sentiment has pretty much been the same. But let me read first what this statement says. It's a Jaguars official statement from Jaguars. A message for Duval. It says, hang in there with us. We're going to get better. The one thing about Jacksonville and the 904, that's the area code for Jacksonville, go to sleep knowing there's not going to be another group working harder to get this thing flipped. Urban Meyer. Ooh. And, in the NFL, when things are going bad, the projection of strength, the projection of poise and confidence becomes a priority, because the one thing you cannot allow is for your opponents to see you sweat. Right. It's for your opponents to see you crack under the pressure, which is weekly in this sport. And for me, and the sentiment that I've gathered from a lot of my former teammates, is that if this needs to be said, if this needs to actually be verbalized and presented to the people of your city at week 2,
right?
During the NFL season, in week 2, then that means you are one loss away from losing the locker room.
Basically.
That means you are at a level of desperation as a coach. You don't know, you don't know what to do. That's why you're saying this. Like, this is the only thing you can put out there to cover yourself. Please just bear with us. We're going to get better. That means there is no hope for this season to be even remotely respectable. And I think this is the, and I don't even, and I hate to jump on this kind of bandwagon, because I do believe that, even regardless of how bad your season starts, as a team, you just keep your shit together and you do your job and you keep grinding at it and you do control what you can control.
Yep.
But never have I had a coach come out and put a statement out and be like, yo, please don't give up on us.
With 15 games left.
And we just started the goddamn season, bro. Like, this is week 2. We going into week 3. You're putting statements out.
But now that I'm reading this is kind of like Tebow's statement that year.
That's what I was thinking too.
I can't remember exactly the way he said it, but he said
when they lost to LSU or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, they lost.
He was like, "You're never going to see a team fight as hard as we fight. You're never going to see a team work as hard as we do, and we're not going to lose another game. I swear to you."
What were y'all doing before? I mean, were y'all not working before this? Or, questions that need answers.
And look, man, I don't know how much you keep up with this shit, but I keep up with the Jaguars more than I keep up with other teams. And I keep up with most of the NFL, but just, I keep up with it enough to the things that interest me and the stories that interest me that are going on during the season. But, I have been consistent since the very moment that I heard that they hired Urban Meyer to be the head coach. I said the Jaguars just allowed a sexy pick to get in the way of making a good coaching hire. And they fell for a sexy coach because of wins that he has at the college level, which, if you are an owner of an NFL team and you understand the differences between the NFL and the college ranks when it comes to winning and losing in the NFL is a completely different concept than winning and losing in college. In college, you as a head coach, you have the least amount of pressure on you, because you're not having to build a franchise, build a team, discover talent, make use of that talent, be able to scheme and strategize against teams that will be finding ways to put holes in your to exploit the holes in your philosophy and your strategy from the beginning to the end of the season. They will attack you. They're in attack mode non-stop.
Right.
In college, you have the luxury of having already the best players in the country.
Yeah. There might be 3 games that you shouldn't be able to just roll out of bed and win.
I mean, we're talking about a coach who started off at Utah, and fair enough.
Whatever where he's winning.
At Utah, he put together a good squad and they won games. He had cats like Alex Smith.
Yeah.
He had a guy who was a who was a Heisman hopeful at his quarterback spot, and he won games and he got that big promotion and got to go coach at the University of Florida, a team that gets great recruits anyways. The time he was there, he had nothing but the best recruiting classes.
Right.
The best recruiting classes. And the moment that Tim Tebow was gone from there, the very next season, his heart started going bad. He's done. He's just grabbing his shit on the sideline, just heeled over, just because they lose it. Because all that talent went out the window. And a lot of the talent that he would have scooped up to kind of replenish it, it started going to Alabama and LSU because they wanted to be anti-Florida Gators. And from there, he goes to Ohio State. I mean, let's be real. If you go down the list of Ohio State like Ohio State teams from the year 2002 to 2015, you might find 50 or 60 NFL superstars in that group of players.
Yep. Everywhere you
with
look.
like 5 Hall of Famers, 5 future Hall of Famers in there somewhere. Like every year. Shit. I remember when I thought that Purdue was doing it big and we had like 11 guys get drafted out of one class and we were still second to Ohio State. They had 13. And that's like on average.
It's probably a down year for them. Shit.
And that was probably a down year. So he goes to probably, maybe outside of Alabama only, Ohio State has the best recruiting classes year in and year out to this day.
Yep.
So how hard is it to be the head coach of Ohio State? Let's be honest. It's not hard to be the head coach of Ohio State, comparatively speaking, or Alabama. It's not hard. You roll with the iron fist and you win without even trying half the time. People are looking at Ohio State right now like they're a disappointment because they lost one game against a solid opponent, against an opponent that is actually that does have the schemes to beat a team like Ohio State and Oregon. Oregon can beat any team they play against because they have a high-powered offensive scheme that's hard to deal with for a lot of teams. And you take on them early in the season, it's not going to be easy to beat them. But this is a team that, is at the cream of the crop. Now, that's I say all this to say, you don't have to be a team builder to be a great college football coach. You just have to be a motivator. You just have to be the figurehead. In the NFL, it is a completely different beast. And people sit here, I'm seeing people in the chat talk about Jimmy Johnson, this and that. You know what? Jimmy Johnson was not doing that Cowboys team that went 1-15 or whatever it was. That Cowboys team was still better than this Jacksonville team, man for man, talent-wise. And their losses were not like this wasn't a team that looked incompetent. Let me just say that. This was not a team that looked incompetent. It was a team that just looked like they had a lot of young guys, and they were trying to figure out what their identity was.
Just a couple years away.
Just a couple years away. What I've seen thus far with Urban Meyer and what they're doing in Jacksonville is that, one, he came into this as the head coach, and there's a level of arrogance there that was already just rubbing people the wrong way. I've talked to beat writers, and I've heard plenty of stories from people in the organization who said that he came in this shit like his motherfucking shit don't stink. And even people who are like don't even deal with the head coach were kind of like, the fuck is he on? What does he think this is? He doesn't think that we need to upgrade our offensive line because he didn't get a single offensive lineman in free agency. What did the Jaguars? The Jaguars have so much more money than most teams in the NFL to spend off their salary cap, and they did nothing in the free agency market. They did nothing. They got rid of a couple guys who had, who were actually have gotten signed with other teams, and they're actually being productive. Old boy from that's at Pittsburgh right now, I forget his last name, linebacker who had a good season here in Jacksonville, and they let him go. And I feel like Urban Meyer came into this thing thinking that all he needed was his QB and he was going to lead him to the promised land, just like everywhere else he's been. The QB was going to lead him to the promised land. So now you have Trevor Lawrence who comes in here. Oh, Trevor Lawrence, even to a certain extent, and I don't blame Trevor Lawrence for this because he comes from somewhere where he ain't never lost.
Right.
He ain't never lost. Okay, that's cool. You went to Clemson. You got like 2 losses in your entire like career, I think. Like, there's nothing, there for him to be like, okay, I need to kind of like ground myself. There's nobody there to tell him, look, motherfucker, this is not college. You're going to lose games. It's inevitable. And you might not even, and your team might not even be good. You need to understand that now. So get all this. There ain't no postseason you should be thinking about right now. You should be thinking about week 1, motherfucker, and that's it.
Think about surviving.
You think about surviving. You need to start talking with your old linemen every day. Like, hey, motherfuckers, did y'all get in some extra pass set reps in practice today? What's going on? What's going on? Because I ain't trying to be on my back all motherfucking night. You know what I mean? I ain't no female. So let's go. Get it together. But I feel like overall, because I know I've gotten long-winded here, I feel like because of his inexperience as a coach and knowing how to build a team, pick a staff, lead grown men, everything is backfiring. And now he's in a kind of a state of panic because you don't put this fucking statement out unless you're in a state of panic. And I mean, usually this isn't like week 8 if you're really having problems. It's like week 8. Oh, I'm about to lose the locker room. Got to put a statement out there. Oh, God. But that's not the case. What we're seeing here is we're seeing a franchise that looks incompetent, in my opinion. And I hate to say that, and it hurts me to say that because, I mean, that's where I spent my whole career. But even in the moments when I thought that this team was incompetent when I was there, that the management was incompetent, I never thought the players were the issue. I always thought it was the people who made the decisions who were the issue. And I don't see anything but history repeating itself in Jacksonville. And it may even be worse than it was at the worst when I was there. We had one season where we had Mike Mularkey as our head coach. I mean, you had Mike Mularkey in Atlanta, if I recall.
Yep, OC.
That motherfucker was shit. He was shite in Jacksonville as a head coach. He was shite. It was like, Jesus Christ. It was like, motherfucker, this is not 1965. We don't run offenses like this. We're going full pads every day during the season. Every day, full pads. I'm like, bruh, there's rules now. You can't do this.
I'll be showing you the CBA.
Yeah, like, hey.
We cannot do this.
Full pads Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, motherfucker. We can't go full pads more than once a week. We was in training camp, full pads every fucking day. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm not going to make it. It's going to be the first training camp. I ain't going to make it.
We're not going to win too many games if nobody's available to play.
For real. And then guys started getting hurt. I tore my meniscus and I tore my cartilage. And they're like, oh, it's not going to get any worse. I'm like, motherfucker, I want to be traded. If y'all don't fire this motherfucker, I want out. Period. Shoot. That's what I told them too at the end of the season. I was like, look, if this cat don't get fired, I told my agent, if they don't fire him after going 2-14, trade me. Because I don't want to play here no more. Because he's got a 4-year contract, guaranteed. I ain't trying to be here for that. I am not trying to be here for that. But they ended up firing him like literally the week after the season ended because it was like really bad. There was a lot of players who were not happy. A lot of players who were like on the verge of asking to be traded. Like it was really, really bad that year. And we went 2-14. So, have we done worse since then as the Jaguars? Actually, yes. Last year we went 1-15.
God, no.
And it's not looking like it's going to be much better this year. So I don't really know where do we go from here?
Yeah, those years wear you down. Man,
did you have a year like that in Atlanta? I don't think you did.
My rookie year.
Rookie year?
Because we were actually really good with Mularkey at OC anyways.
At OC, maybe, but a head coach, that motherfucker didn't have the slightest goddamn clue what he was doing.
Huge difference between coordinating being a headman.
Big difference. Big difference.
My rookie year was Bobby Petrino year.
So y'all had Petrino. Oh, and he dipped didn't he dip halfway through the season?
I think we were 3-13 or 4-12, somewhere in there. Longest year of my life. I didn't think I was going to make it, in the league at that point. I was like, shit, this ain't for me. I don't think I'm cut out for this shit.
I'm telling you, dude, I was depressed that whole season. That was 2012. And I was playing with a knee injury the whole year, and they wouldn't say nothing to the media because the media was like, what's wrong with Uche? He's it looks like he's dealing with something. And I'm like, yo, my right knee is twice the size of my left knee. And I'm just I'm on my back, getting stretched, and cats are massaging the top of my knee during practice. And they're like, what's going on? Oh, no, he's all right. Not telling them that I done torn up half my damn knee and have not missed a practice, have not missed a game. I was drugged up. I promise you that T-train was in me all week. I couldn't feel nothing all week long, taking a shot. Just give me the shot. If they didn't have the Toradol, I wasn't playing. That's what I told them. I'm not going to play. You don't know how this feels. If I have to feel the pain from bone on bone, I'm not playing. No. Refuse. But so, just to kind of bring this one full circle, really, I feel like this is this is not a good sign for the Jaguars at all to have to feel the need to even put something like this out there. I think that for when a franchise or when a team is going through adversity, I think that that's something for the team to handle within the walls of the facility. Everyone rallies the wagon, circle the wagons. The team that, you always have that players team, that players meeting, or it's just the players, so everybody can get everything out in the air and you can kind of get a soft reset to the season right then and there, refocus, rededicate yourself. And you just really project that this is a team that is coming tighter together to try and handle the situation rather than trying to gain sympathy or empathy or understanding, because these fans don't care, and why should they? You ain't giving them anything to care about since 2017. So, they shouldn't have any patience for not losing, but they shouldn't have any patience for looking like you don't even belong on the field with these teams.
I guarantee you they're not getting that season ticket money back.
Oh, yeah, because you ain't finna refund them. You damn sure ain't. Hell, they was having problems giving refunds during COVID last year. They was like, look, if you got you some club seats, we ain't giving you that money back. We already spent it. Hey,
that money gone.
That's gone. But we will.
We're going to
give you half off your season seats if you win the bowl. If you win the bowl, we'll give you half off of half of the games. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these super chats. We got Mexican Iron Man here for $9.99. It says Uche and Mr. Blalock. So you guys saying this coach already? You guys saying that this coach already this early means the locker room and fan season is lost. What are the guys in the locker room thinking when they read coach saying this? Now, what do you think about that? You can kind of take a quick swing at that. What if you're in the locker room and you see this shit right here on your phone? What's your first thought as a player?
Inside drill, about 24 period practice.
It's about to get rough.
It's about to be out here till 8 o'clock. It's
about to be in training camp again.
Yes. This is not going to be a good week for me. Actually, matter of fact, my hamstring just got tight. Just reading that.
Oh, man, I'm telling you what. I'm going straight into the training room this knee's swelling up. I can't go this week. We're going to have to wait till Friday. We're going to wait till Friday.
Yeah, that cold tub about to be full all week.
That cold tub going to be full. You're going to have, and that's the thing, right? Even when, and maybe it's the same, and maybe we both are speaking from the same experience here, but even when things got bad, the process didn't really get that much harder. There was more emphasis and more coaching being done. But it wasn't like in college where you were going to get punished. I'll never forget, my bro. We played against Bowling Green. You probably remember hearing about this shit. We were ranked number 10 or 11 in the country. And we had our first game of the season against Bowling Green, and them motherfuckers wore our ass out. We didn't know what to do. We were like, what is this rollout offense shit? Like they were running that spread, roll out, roll left, roll right. And they were just hitting us with dimes. And actually, I think it was Urban Meyer who was the fucking head coach.
He was Bowling Green? Yeah.
I think it was him at Bowling Green. If I'm not mistaken, let me check real quick, bro. That was 2002, yeah.
I'm about to say that was, I think, before or right after Utah.
Yeah, that was my freshman year, if I remember. Let me see. Bowling Green. Let's see. Was that? Oh, wait, that's not. Maybe it's 2003. Let me see. Yeah, it was 2003 because that was yeah, because that was the year that we came out super highly ranked. We were highest ranked we'd ever been. And everybody was like, oh, yeah, we finna get it live. And we came out and we had these motherfuckers and we was just like, man, we ain't even worried about Bowling Green. Come on, bro. Right. Oh.
That's
yep.
We
were number 16 and they beat us 27-26. Oof. And I'm telling you, bro, and I'm pretty sure that let me see. Let me look real quick. I'm pretty sure that their head coach that year was Urban Meyer, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to find him. See if he's on here. Boom. Roster. Doesn't say who the fuck the coach was. Damn it. How's that possible? Let me go back. 2003 Bowling Green. Head coach. Huh. No, it wasn't Urban Grant.
He had just left.
He had just left. Yeah.
He was there 0102.
Yeah, he was there for a year. Okay. Urban Meyer. Yep, 0102. It was right after he left. But I tell you, man, old Joe Tiller, we had just converted him from all that old school Bear Bryant shit. And when we lost that game, my guy, he told us right then and there in the locker room, you motherfuckers, you get ready because tomorrow, he said it's going to be hell to pay. It's going to be hell to pay. Don't even think about going out tonight because tomorrow we're in full pads and we're going to boil her up all day long. I was like, oh, shit. We had a goal line scrimmage for like 20 minutes. We literally just ran goal line plays, goal line run plays, full pads, full contact, tackle to the ground.
Shit.
I was like, nigga, this is going to end. Some of us ain't going to make it after this. This is going to be career done.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's not
career done. So, that is college football. That is, and in a way, I understand why that happens in college football because you kind of want to build the mental toughness in college. That's where you build it. By the time you get to the NFL, you either got mental toughness or you don't. We can't build that shit for you no more. You either have it or you ain't got it. And if you ain't got it, you're not going to last that long.
Yeah, you're
not going to last that long.
And this shit going to weak you out.
Yeah, and I think, personally, that when you put something out like this, as a player, as a veteran in the NFL, my first initial thought would be, this motherfucker's a pussy. And that's me just saying that in a nutshell. That's what my thought is. Like, this cat is literally worried about what everybody else thinking right now instead of focusing on his team. You don't need to say shit to nobody except we're gonna work on it. We're gonna get our shit right. That's it.
Yep.
We're just gonna go back to work. That's all we can do. And the simple fact that he needs to put out a statement, he could have done this in a press conference and just said, you know what? This is a young team, young guys. We're going to go back to work. We're going to continue with the process. We're going to make sure we coach these guys better so that they're ready. We can put them in a better position to win on Sundays and leave it at that. You don't got to say nothing else. You put a statement out. That is different. That's different than saying something in a press conference. That means you are responding and reacting to what you're hearing rather than focusing on what somebody's in your head right now. And that's not good. That's not good for a team. It's not good for a team. We got another super chat here from Jason Gaines for $20. Jason Gaines, appreciate you, brother. Another person who's here often. It says, growing up as a Falcons fan, I would assume. Justin, I really enjoyed watching you opening up running lanes from Michael to Burner Turner. Man, that motherfucker, yeah, he was a good one right there, wasn't he?
Shit.
Center Todd McClure and right guard Harvey Dahl were very reliable. Center Todd McClure and right guard Harvey Dahl were very reliable and kicked ass. Well, I'm sure Justin appreciates that, man.
Yeah, dude.
You know, it's funny because, you know, I remember that group, y'all's interior three, because, you know, we would come and practice with y'all during training camp. And y'all ain't had a good interior three since y'all was there. And that's how I feel about the Jaguars, because I'll be watching AJ Cann's ass out there getting rolled the fuck around. And I'm like, damn, they ain't had a right guard since I've been there. And they gave that bum a contract, and he's still out there getting rolled up.
Yeah, they're hard to find now.
They are, dude. I'm telling you.
Man's game in there.
It's a different game inside in the interior three. And
you gotta be a grown man in there.
Somebody had to teach you how to be an asshole for you to be able to play in there.
Yep. 100%.
That's the only way you get it done. All right, we got another.
And Sam Baker too. You know, they held it down the outside.
Oh yeah,
It takes 5.
Oh yeah, most def.
We actually had 4 years with the same lineup, I think.
With the same lineup?
Almost every week.
Oh, man. See, that's clutch. That's chemistry right there. That's chemistry right there. That's when you got an O-line that has chemistry, dude, you know, it's great because you don't have to say a word to a motherfucker.
Right.
He already knows what you about to do.
Yep.
He already can feel it.
Yep.
And I had that with a couple of linemen. Brad Meester was our center. Brad Meester is the ultimate Jaguar, in my opinion, because he's 14-year vet in Jacksonville. He missed he had one season where he missed because of a broken leg, but he only missed he missed 8 weeks. But he ended up coming back that year. But other than that, this dude was there every week. He was a quintessential pro. He knew the offense better than the quarterbacks. Quarterbacks just were whatever they were just like, hey, whatever the fuck Brad says, that's what we're doing. That's what we're going to. I'm not arguing.
Yeah, him and Todd McClure are the same. They mirror each other.
Long time guys, long time guys who've been there, who are literally represent the heart of that offense. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And Brad, this guy, he already knew. And you talk about it in meetings, you talk about it in practice a little as well, but in the game, he knew that more often than not, if I got a 3 technique, get your ass ready because I'm sending them straight to you because it's easier that way. I can block them by myself, but hey, who wants to take that one chance where you doing your thing and he just gets a good swipe on one arm and you like, oh. And then he just running upfield and he like, throw the ball. So, me and Brad had that communication down, and that's huge for an offensive line. It's another thing that a lot of people, a lot of times tend to miss about how chemistry is so important on the O-line. When you have guys in there who, you have one guy in there who's a regular starter, you have another guy who's a rookie or somebody who hasn't had a lot of playing time but has to come in. It's kind of a reset, and that's where you tend to see leakiness in protection, in run blocking, because guys are trying, guys who have been out there don't usually say a lot because they're, you have that communication down with your guys that you've been out there with. So sometimes you forget that the guy next to you, he just came in 2 plays ago and that his eyes are wide as shit. He don't even know. He can't even say nothing.
Right.
I remember Cam Bradfield. Cam Bradfield came in one game, and he came in because I think Eugene Monroe had gotten a concussion. So he came in, and he didn't say a word in the huddle. I'm looking at him. I'm literally looking at him in his face mask. Like,
hey, dog.
Is he ready? Is he ready? And he's like, I'm like, you good? He's like, Yeah. I'm like, all right. Got to talk now. While we're walking to the line of scrimmage, got to talk now. Got to talk. I get in my stance. I'm looking. I look out here. I say, Cam, what you got out there? He ain't even looking at me. He just like, Cam.
No.
Cam. Hot. I'm like, fuck, Cam, what are you doing? But that's how it be, man. Got another super chat here from Jason Gaines, $5. He says, also, Justin, do you remember Sue calling the Falcons O-line dirty in 2011? I loved it. Thanks for keeping Matt Ryan clean in the pocket.
Oh, man, it's my pleasure. Yeah, I do remember that. Coming from him, that's a bit of a compliment.
For real. Hey, dude, I ain't even told you about my Sue story. My chat knows about the Sue story. They know how me and Sue did. I embarrassed that cat the whole game. And my whole mindset that game was like, I'm going to get kicked out of this game because me and him are going to fight. And I'm ready for that. I told my online coach, I said, look, Andy. He said, ooh, don't take no shit. I said, you goddamn right I ain't going to take no shit. So be ready because I might get kicked out this shit. Might get kicked out the game. Just be ready. And I was literally, I was ready after every play to fight this cat. I was like, because I was like blocking him and pushing him, like, motherfucker, like, back your ass up off me. And I'm like, bro, did they give this cat a sedative before he came out here? He hasn't said a word to me. He hasn't even I haven't even felt like a strong push. I haven't felt like any frustration at all. I know he's not on no woosah.
Right.
He ended up, later on in the year, he ended up stomping a cat in his stomach. Like, he don't care.
Exactly.
So where's the fight? I was waiting for it, and it never came. And it was his worst game. Pro Football Focus was like, this was his worst game of the season. It was against me. And I'm like, damn right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, take that shit upstairs.
You better take that shit somewhere else, because I'm ready to go out for this one. I will gladly take that fine. Me and you go rolling on the ground. I'm gonna try and knock your ass out. I was just ready. That was my mind state. Just be ready to fight this cat, like fist fighter. Never happened. So maybe he just goes after guys that he thinks he can manhandle, because he didn't try that shit with me. He didn't try that shit with me at all. Anyways, moving on. Anything else you want to, jump into? Anything else you got that you're looking forward to as far as football goes, or you still keep in touch with any of the guys like Matt Ryan, stuff like that?
I still talk to a few guys, mainly, O-linemen, spend the most time together.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't many of us left playing, from those days.
True. It's crazy that the time has went by so quick too. Like,
even on the whole team, I think just Matt and Jake Matthews, I think, are the last two that I would have played with. Yeah, and that's only because Jake was a rookie my last year.
Yeah, Julio just left. Yeah, man, it's crazy because people kind of expect you to still have like that connection with the franchise, right? But like they don't realize that the franchise does not. They ain't hitting you up for shit. At least not in Jacksonville.
Right.
They send emails. They send me emails for their Legends Club or some shit, and I'm like, motherfucker, y'all ain't paying me to be a part of that shit. Anything I do for y'all, I still need to be paid to do it, because y'all damn sure are gonna try and squeeze. Because I went to the 25th anniversary game 2 years ago. That was my first time being back in Jacksonville since I got released. So I was just like, I got there, and I seen all my teammates, all the cats that, and a lot of them, probably half of them were still in Jacksonville, maybe a third, closer to a third than a half. And, and they were just kind of giving me the lowdown on how this whole Legends community thing works. And I'm like, you motherfuckers are doing this? They're not paying you nothing, but they're making you do all these events. And then they're saying if you do enough of them, that'll give you the chance for them to give you an event where you get paid. It's like, that's like saying I'll play half the season for free. No.
Okay, so our experience has been nothing like that. Actually, Atlanta has done quite a few nice things for the Legends community. up until my first few years out, I think you could go to like a road game. They fly you up, hotel, everything, go to the game, with some, I mean, you could do booze and schmooze with some donors or whatnot. But the year I actually took advantage, instead of going to a road game, we went to Grand Cayman and had a watch party on the day of the game. So, like, I think they took care of flight, hotel. I think it was all expenses paid.
So they actually like took care of y'all.
Yeah. So they blessed us. It was a hell of a time. Got to shoot the shit, be around some of the old guys. I think they had I feel like Ludacris performed one night for us. It was real fucking nice. So I'm sorry your experience, wasn't that great.
Damn, I'm over here just like stewing, like, God damn. They took care of the flight. They took care of everything.
Yeah. I think I might have had to upgrade myself to first class, but that was the only thing that I paid for.
Yeah, that's cool.
I was like, shit, y'all already got me out here.
For real.
No problem. I'll do that. Daddy can do that all day, every day.
Man, see, you know what though? That's because of the consistency of the people that have been in the front office of the franchise.
True.
Owner, for the most part, head coach, coordinators, general managers, they've been there. So when they deal with those, when they have those PR meetings about what to do for the retired players, there's like a consistent, like, and some of those people I would assume were players at one point as well. So I feel like there's some kind of like there is a bit of effort put into making sure that you keep a connection with, a lot of your core players, the core players from your teams, because fans will still remember those guys years later.
Oh, yeah.
Especially for guys who played 7-8 years there. You know what I mean? Like those guys' names will ring a bell anytime you say them because fans will remember that. Jacksonville, I had to walk half a mile from where I parked to get to the fucking stadium. Me and Big John Henderson. John Henderson was walking with a cane. And we couldn't even get into the building the only way we knew how to get into the building. They wouldn't let us in for like 15 minutes. Big John's family is like, this is Big John.
Right.
This is the motherfucker who was on the side of this building. Y'all had banners up at him.
You seen him get slapped?
And they like,
I'm gonna slap y'all.
Carry on, peasant. Like, no. But it took some time for somebody, a matter of fact, and I'll give a big shout out to Dan Edwards because he was the guy who came out and took care of it. This was a guy who was there with us, who works in the front office, and he's actually retiring after this season, but he's been there since the first day of the Jaguars. And he came out and was like, let these guys in. Like, these are former players. These are guys who were just players here like 4 or 5 years ago. Let them in. Like, so me, Big John, his family, we go in, we get into the facility, and then, where our seats are is like, there's no seats. It's just open space. It's like y'all put us in like open space areas.
Wow.
This is supposed to be some kind of like, supposed to be some kind of suite area, but there's no seats. Like, everybody here got a bad back. Every one of us got a bad back. What are y'all doing? You know what I mean? So it was like it wasn't a good experience for me. And I was kind of like, this is why motherfuckers don't come back here to deal with y'all. Because you don't, there's and on one end, I'm empathetic because this team hasn't built the kind of historical culture that a lot of other teams have, that a lot of other teams have had the ability to build from, just having more and more people who played be a part of the organization. But the Jaguars don't make the players who played a part of their organization. Those players are just gone. So they end up just finding new people and finding random people to run their organization. And then, at the top of that, you have an owner who's not really, he's not a football owner. He's not really been a football guy. He's only became a part of football when he bought the team, which I don't blame or fault Shad Khan, because I like Shad Khan. I think he is a smart businessman. He's a good owner. And even though he's not necessarily a football-minded owner, he doesn't have the knowledge of football. He delegates that to other people.
Sure.
You know, those people, he's just not picking the right people, in my opinion. He's picking what he thinks would be a popular pick rather than what's a functional pick for your franchise to actually build a foundation for. And, you know, you can't be a franchise that is, I mean, it's just not, you just should never be a franchise that goes to an AFC championship game. And then from that point on, you win like 6 games over the next 4 years, 5 years. I mean, come on. That's like not supposed to happen that way. You can't be a team that had the best cornerback in the NFL, bar none, and you make him piss, you piss him off, and then you kick him out. Like, that just shows you don't know what you're doing. You can't be a franchise where the NFLPA comes out and says, if you're a free agent, you might want to think twice about going to Jacksonville.
Ooh,
like, that is like, okay, everybody's fired. Everybody's fired. No, I got to get the fuck out of here now. That really just made us look terrible.
Matter of fact, we'll send you your stuff.
We'll send you your shit, Tom. You just get the fuck out, okay? You just leave, okay? Because that really, like, I think that's like the first time I've ever, like, honestly been like, God damn, they like actually have truly hurt the image to the players in the league. They don't want to go to Jacksonville anymore. Guys who you could have convinced to come to Jacksonville will have nothing to do with y'all because they hear about how things are going down.
Right.
So now you put yourself in a hole as a franchise to be able to build even because you can't even get guys that are like quality players to come here. So what's the next move? Oh, go get a college football coach who won a lot in college, and that's going to get them. Nobody wants to come here for that shit because all the players know how that's going to play out. We've seen that play out before, you know? So anyways, hey man, I know you got to get heading out. You got to get, you're going to go watch the game with some fam, right?
Oh yeah.
So, you know, if you got to head out, don't feel obligated to stick around. You know, you just let the people know. You got anything online? You got a Twitter, anything like that? Nope. Hey, thought too long.
I have one. I'm just not active. I couldn't even tell you. Are there usernames on Twitter, or is it just my name? See, that tells you.
I don't know.
I ain't been on that shit at least 2-3 years.
Okay. Well, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it.
You know what?
No,
I'm going to have a good answer for you by the next time I get on here.
No, it's all good, bro. It's all good. No, I do appreciate you coming on, man. And again, like, the more you want to come on, you let me know. We'll jump on here. It's always good to have another old lineman on here to talk with.
I have Instagram. It's Sky_Walker63. So
Skywalker63. So you a Star Wars cat too?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I got some friends you might want to meet. I got a bunch of folks that are into Star Wars that I do work with on YouTube. So
okay,
definitely be a chance for us to do some work there together, man. But no, I appreciate you, Justin, for being on here. I appreciate you for being on here. We got we got the game coming up here at 8:30. Probably going to be going ahead and dialing off from here for the live stream. Let me make sure that there's no more super chats to go through here. Let's see. I think we got all of them. Anybody who wants to drop any more questions in the chat before we head out, I'll be answering them through super chat. If not, give it a few minutes here before we head out, before we get done with this live stream. Next on Wednesday, don't forget, I will be having Urinating Tree and 5 Points videos on here for our live predictions, week 3 predictions with the tier maker. We're going to be updating our tier maker. And there's going to be a few teams moving around. Because we had some teams that we thought was going to be about something that just fell right the fuck off the cliff. New Orleans, I'm looking at you. Ooh. Jeez. Y'all just went ahead and they just went straight back to 2019 Jameis Winston in 1 week. Damn. Threw me off. I'm glad I didn't bet on there. So I'm glad I did not bet on that one. I left that one alone. But make sure you go find Justin on his Instagram. You said it was Sky_Walker63.
Yes, sir.
Find him on that. You can find me. Obviously, you see my screen name up there for Twitter at Chuku77. And on YouTube, just Uche Nwaneri. Will, new member on my channel. New member. Appreciate you for being a new member. Hope you came in at a high enough tier and didn't just punk out like the other cats did. Better get you that 1999 tier, buddy. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But I do appreciate you guys. We're about to jump off of here. Everybody, we will see you again on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, for the Week 3 predictions with the tier makers. So, with all that being said, hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Enjoy Monday Night Football, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.